What if you don't want to publish your books on Amazon? Or for that matter, publish your books on other platforms similar to Amazon, be it Barnes & Noble, Apple, so on and so forth. And you want to be 100% all in. You bet on yourself. So today we're going to be talking about self-publishing without Amazon and some of the practical steps that you're going to need to take in order to be successful as a self-publisher without Amazon. Make sure you stay tuned. What's happening? This is Dale here, and I'm just tickled to death you took a little bit of time out your day to spend a little bit of time with me to talk about my favorite thing in self-publishing. This is episode 116. My gosh, where's the time going? It goes so stinking fast. I want to let you know that right now we've got some great sponsorships in the works. But in the meantime, today's podcast is brought to you in part by my preferred web hosting service, SiteGround. Need a website but don't know where to start? SiteGround gives you a full solution, including your choice of site builder, premium features, and the support you need to launch your site. You stuck with another web hosting service? Lord knows I was at one point. I'm not going to mention any names. I'm scared. Try their website transfer try their smooth website transfer. Say that 10 times fast. Get a free automated WordPress migration for an easy to use WordPress plugin or a professional website transfer done by SiteGround themselves. The experts are really awesome over there. They've been super, super helpful. For more details, check out SiteGround at our affiliate link at dalelinks.com/SiteGround. Link is inside the show notes for today. I don't know why I got stumbled up on some of those words right there. SiteGround, please, forgive me. All right, so you don't want to publish on Amazon or any other retailer. This happens a lot. There's some people that truly just don't want to fuss around with someone taking, let's say, 70% of the revenue or 35%. They would rather just get 100% of the earnings and maybe having to pay a little bit of fees here and there. And that's totally understandable. So we're going to be discussing the self-publishing without Amazon or other platforms here. This is going to resonate with you if you don't want just some of the pie. You want all of the pie. And you don't care about traffic you could otherwise get from Amazon or other retailers. Meaning that, hey, you've already got a website. You're already making some sales. Hey, let's go ahead and use Amazon. No, I'm good. I'd rather just have my own traffic. And lastly, you're DIY all the way, as doing it yourself. And you would rather just rely on yourself than some other platform. I've known many authors to be super successful in this avenue. So I want to talk about a couple of different options to publish without Amazon. Let's go with the free options first, because I know a lot of you are going to want to do this without having to take out a second mortgage on your house or donate blood at, the local plasma, bank. So let's look at free website services. The very first thing you're going to need when it comes to getting some type of sales is you're going to need to have somewhere to place a call to action to buy your books. Couple of free options: WordPress.org, WordPress.com, heck, even Wix.com. Take a look around, just do a general search and find out what other authors are currently using. I'm going to tell you that there's a lot of authors that use WordPress, and it's free to use. Free does come at a little bit of a cost. Keep in mind, they're going to probably put some type of advertising or they're going to put some type of a watermark on there. But I guess it beats the alternative in going to another website in which they're not just going to put a watermark on things. They're going to probably take a significant amount of money from you. So to me, I'm going to recommend, if you're going to do any type of free website service, WordPress.org is fantastic. It's a bit more user-friendly. I've heard some people that said that some plugins don't work for WordPress.com, but does for .org. So take a look at that. It's going to take a little bit of trial and error. I would recommend that if you do set up a website through there, set your expectations low because it is free, and just work at it slowly but surely. Another service that you can probably look into are the free blogging sites. There are sites like Medium, Blogger, which is Google owned, by the way, Tumblr, and just so much more. Medium is probably the popular of the most of the options. Now, bear in mind that it is a blogging site. So if you're strictly going on there just to sell your books, chances are very likely they're not going to take too kindly about that. In fact, all of the blogging websites should probably go on and take a look at their terms of service. I'm not sure if they allow it or if there's certain things you need to do. I would say if you go to any of those blogging platforms, deliver value first, sell second. So maybe put out a few good blog posts on there without trying to sell any of your books. And maybe on the fourth one is when you do a shameless self-promotion there. Always fully disclose that it is for your stuff. Now, the next thing is going to be, you're going to need to get your files, if it's going to be an ebook or an audiobook, and put it into a cloud drive of some sort. So something like Google Drive will work perfect. And then you're going to get that link and have it coordinate with PayPal. Now, PayPal is a great option to me. It served me pretty well. You can easily create a PayPal button on your website. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of coding knowledge or anything else like that. In fact, all you got to simply do is set up a free PayPal account. Just do a simple search for how to create a PayPal checkout button, and you're done. It literally takes a matter of minutes for you to go ahead and do something like that. And bear in mind that if you have print books on hand, that PayPal button will also work for print deliverables, but you will have to fulfill that unless you have some type of integration with things like Shopify or so on and so forth. Like Shopify actually works with Lulu Express, for instance. So what are the actionable steps? What do you need to do if you want to save some money, you're not wanting to spend a ton of it? All right, let's take a look at this here. Set up your site first. All right. Insert any relevant post. Figure out where you're going to host your files and how you're going to sell those things, and then install the PayPal button on a given post. That's it. Easy peasy, right? You can be promoting over on social media, and you can send them right on over to that web page where you have a PayPal button that will check out, and they can get either your ebook, your audiobook, or even a print book fulfilled. Now let's take a look at premium options, because there's some of you that has a little bit more discretionary expense, and this is probably one of the options I highly recommend if you have the discretionary expense. So I want to say that first and foremost, do not put any money into this business that you cannot stand to lose, because I will promise you that right out the gate, when you start to do something like this, it's going to take some time to build some traction and build awareness that you're selling your products through your website. So let's start it out with, of course, the website. You got to get web hosting with a reliable service provider. Now, I shared at the very beginning of the show, and said it stuttering numerous times, how much I like SiteGround, and it is my preferred web hosting service. If you don't go with SiteGround, that's fine. I totally understand. Just don't cheap out on your web hosting. I made the mistake of going to a cheaper provider for a few years, and it worked against me. In fact, it turned into a complete mess that I chronicled over on my main channel of Self-Publishing with Dale. Absolute nightmare. It was horrible. So SiteGround, wonderful. They were my saving grace. I really loved all that they did. The website transfer service was phenomenal. Loved it. But get yourself a good web host. So web hosting can cost anywhere from $60 to upwards of $120, $200. It just depends on the type of plan that you have. Anticipate that you'll spend at least on average about $100 per year for web hosting. Now, we've already gone through the trouble of getting a web host. We might as well just go ahead and pony up the extra expense to get a domain name that is relevant to you as an author or your niche. So for instance, my author website is dalelroberts.com. And that's not me promoting this. I'm just giving as an example. You would want to think about your author name or something relevant to your brands. Get a domain name that's easy to remember and that's easy to spell out. So you don't have any ambiguity when, let's say, you do an interview on a news show or you're posting something on somebody else's blog, a guest blog of some sort. It's a small amount more But here's the part, it really helps build relevancy in search engine algorithms when you actually have a domain name attached to that website. And if you have an author name in your website domain name, the beautiful part is chances are likely when people search up your name as an author, your website's going to pull up first and foremost, which is what you really want to shoot for. And hey, remember, easy to remember. I had a client one time that for whatever reason, she picked out something. It was for the weight loss niche. It was bxbk123.com. It was random. And I was like, what does that stand for? And she told me it was like an acronym of sorts. It was an abbreviation. And I was like, there's no way anyone's going to remember that. Like, not at all. Maybe like weightlossconcerns.com might be a great domain name, but bx2315bx2.com, it's not even memorable. It was a waste of her money at the end of the day, and I felt really bad that she did that. The next thing is you can go into the free method. I'd already recommended this using a PayPal button of sorts. There's other providers out there that will do a button. I'm sure Stripe probably offers something like that. Just Google search up your preferred way. I like PayPal. They do pull out some fees, but it's marginal compared to what you're going to get paid versus over KDP. So for instance, if you do an ebook sale, you get 70% if you're priced between $2.99 and $9.99. Anything outside of that's 35%. Whereas you go over to something like a model, best that they pull out would be 10%, which I don't even think it's remotely that high. You're getting as close to 100% royalty done through PayPal versus done through KDP. So this is why it's a smart idea. The next thing that you want to maybe consider, this is when you're getting some good traction, or if you got the discretionary expense, the premium method could include different checkouts that you can use through something like a WordPress site, including Thrive themes. Thrive Cart is also another great option. Shopify. There's so many things. I've got a good friend of mine, Jason Stallworth, swears by WooCommerce. He loves it. It's fantastic. This can run anywhere from about $10 to about $95 per month. Now, with something like, say, Thrive Cart, and I'll talk about a little bit more in just a second, you can get a lifetime license for about $495. That's a lifetime license that you can use it for just about anything. Now, I actually have got some friends within the self-publishing industry and even in the entrepreneurship that use Thrive Cart, and actually I'm an affiliate that actually gets to use that. And I'm going to tell you, love their dashboard. Their reporting is spot on. There's so many really, really cool features when it comes to Thrive Cart. I don't have an affiliate link for it. Just telling you my experience. I really have enjoyed Thrive Cart. It's definitely an option. All right, I got some final tips as we start to wrap up today's broadcast. Again, I think it bears worth in repeating. Looking for great web hosting services, and one that I prefer, take a look at SiteGround. It is a premium service. Yes, it's going to cost a little bit more, but I promise you they deliver the goods. They are probably one of the fastest web hosting services out there as well. I find that, man, my page load time, literally, it's sped up like 100 times faster than the previous web host. Take a look at that over at dalelinks.com/SiteGround. Love me some SiteGround. Can't say enough about them. My final tip, when it comes to self-publishing without Amazon, if you're using your own website, build out the site and try to include about 12 posts or so. It could be blog posts, maybe it's reviews, maybe it's just, any number of things that showcases you as an author. Build that out. Don't just strictly think about, well, let me make my website nothing but sales, because that's going to put people off. That's not very welcoming. Think about the times that you've gone into a department store and you're just hammered right as soon as you come in. They're like, hey, can I help you with anything? Like, yeah, just give me a minute. And they come back and they almost pursue you like that furniture salesman in one of those stores. They're like, hey, how I'm just coming in and look around. Oh yeah, just let me know if you need anything. And they're just kind of hanging around in your peripheral. They're just kind of like, yeah, you need any help? No, I don't need any help. So that's going to be the thing. Someone shows up to your website, they shouldn't feel weird about things. Try to build value on your website to build relevancy there. Gary Vee put it really, really good, actually. The Gary Vaynerchuk, if you've never heard of him, Gary Vee is awesome. He put out a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the premise of the book is to deliver so much insane value that when you get ready to do a sale, it's a done deal because they've already built that know, like, and trust factor in you. So you want to think of your website in the same regard. Now, how do you drive traffic to your author website to generate more book sales? Because when you're publishing through Amazon KDP or Ingram Spark and such like that, you're relying on them to have the audience to deliver to you. Now that you got a website and you're doing it on your own, you're having to rely on search engine algorithms, but search engine algorithms alone isn't going to drive that traffic. You've actually got to put in the work. Join me next week when we discuss effective ways to drive traffic to your website. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a barn burner. I'm going to be sharing some great insights and ways that you can be able to do it, some outside the box thinking that you probably haven't thought of otherwise. We're going to be doing that next week's podcast. Hey, do me a huge favor. Subscribe or follow me on your preferred podcasting platform and leave me a review. And if you happen to be watching this on the YouTube podcast channel, drop me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts were today. Are you self-publishing without Amazon? Definitely would love to hear from you. You weigh on in. Let's hear from you. All right. In the meantime, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I will chat with you soon.